Hi, Marco.
Hello, hello. Oh,
How
uh,
are you?
you
Is Maria coming on too?
I don't think so, but if she's
Yeah.
welcome to, maybe she wants to jump in at some point.
Okay, cool. That would be great. So, how are you doing?
Doing well. Oh, doing well. Just getting outside in the morning. It's nice and sunny. Actually, a little bit too sunny, so I'm taking some shade under this soursop tree.
Hi.
Everything's going really well. Everything's going super well. How about yourself?
Good. It's a little gray out today. We had some sunny days, but it's gray out today. I wouldn't mind being in Costa Rica.
Nice and sunny for the time being, although it is kind of the rainiest part of the year here. So when there's sun in the morning, I like to get outside and enjoy it. And oh, it looks like Maria said she'll jump in at the end, so that works out perfect.
Marco is my son, by the way. I've been involved with the raw vegan community for 27 years. I've been raw vegan and vegan for 32 years, so I'm very involved in this community. And I speak at the annual Woodstock Fruit Festival, and Marco has spoken there before as well. And so we're going to talk with Marco about growing up raw vegan. But before we do, I want to just talk about their retreat in Costa Rica. And Marco and Maria live on beautiful land in Costa Rica, and they have a retreat called El Santuario de la Salud. And it's absolutely gorgeous. They have the most beautiful view of the Pacific coast. And if you want to stay in an absolutely gorgeous place overlooking the Pacific, near the beach, near all the great markets, but not so hot as the beach because it's a little bit up in the mountains. And Maria is the most fantastic vegan and raw food chef. And they do meditation, and they take you to the beaches and the waterfalls, and it's fantastic. So you can connect with Marco, and Marco's Instagram link right here is Marco Ranzi. So I wanted to start with that, just to say that they have this wonderful retreat center.
I have a background in nutrition and holistic healing. Maria has a background in detoxification and nutrition as well. So we really put a lot of intention into which meals were at which part of the day, depending on the amount of fat that there is in it. There's no oil, there's no sugar, there's no salt in any of the recipes. So this is a great opportunity to get away from a lot of these kind of stimulants or extreme flavors and get back to what nature provides us, which is raw living food without anything added to it. People say, oh, well, where are you going to get your salt? Well, celery, tomato, all these greens have tons of sodium in it. That's actually what we really need, is sodium. We don't need table salt, we need sodium. So we put a lot of love and intention into this ebook. It's a great way for people that are looking for a week to jumpstart their health journey, to take a break, to do a cleanse. It has a number of different purposes, and the whole idea is it's really easy. The recipes, they're not super complicated. You're not going to see 15, 20 ingredients. They're simple, but they're delicious, and they're easy to make. So we've gotten really great feedback so far. And then Maria is from Mexico, so it does have some recipes have a Mexican flair to it, like those tacos, which are delicious. And then there's pizzas and other things as well. But yeah, we're really excited to share it with everybody. And please let us know what you think about it. We'd love to hear from you.
That's so awesome. So can you talk a bit about growing up in our house, and about I know that it was overwhelming sometimes. I limited your, I didn't want you to have any animal food, that's for sure. And I don't know, there's times that I wish I had, that I was a little bit looser about it, and, still created my vegan house, but let you have more decision making. But then there's other times that I see that parents feel really sad about what their kids are choosing to eat because they haven't had a vegan home. And so I'm glad that I had that home. So I don't know, I go back and forth with those feelings, and I'd like to just hear, you know, sometimes as an adult, I think feelings change about the way that you were raised. Could you just give us like a bit of a view on how you were raised and what you got out of it?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, for people that aren't that don't know my story, I was born actually. You were vegetarian when I was born, but we were eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of basically vegan junk food.
I was vegan.
You know,
I wasn't vegetarian anymore. In between,
you're pregnant, you were vegetarian.
when I was pregnant with you, I was mostly vegan. I only ate dairy once or twice, and that was it.
Okay.
So I was vegan, but I ate a lot of pasta and bread.
Right. So when I was born, the first couple of years of my life, I had ear infections. I wasn't as healthy as I should be. And you, my mom, you were looking for really a reason why, because you thought you were doing, following a super healthy diet, being vegan. And I always like to say this: vegan says what you don't eat, it doesn't say what you do eat. So you could be vegan and eat Pepsi and Lay's potato chips and Chips Ahoy, because I'm pretty sure those are vegan too, or some other insert other vegan candy here, and that would be considered vegan too. And we weren't on that end of the spectrum, but when you were pregnant, you were still eating a lot of processed foods, not whole foods, not a lot of greens, not as much fruit as you do now, that's for sure. And I think that was one of the reasons why I had some health concerns when I was young. And you were looking for an alternative way to solve those problems, like any caring mother would. And that's when you found the path of raw foods. You started to give me tons of green juice. You started to give me tons of raw food. And less than a year later, all my symptoms were gone. My asthma was gone. My ear infections were gone. And I could just live a normal life, which is basically what all mothers want for their kids. And yeah, from there on, for the most part, especially reflecting now, as I've reflected as an adult, when you're a kid, especially when you're really young, you're not concerned so much with food. You're just concerned with playing, being outside, just like imagination, being with others, just like you were just in such a mode of not thinking too much. You're not like a 7-year-old kid and you're like, oh, what am I gonna have for dinner tonight? Maybe I need to go to the grocery store. You're in the moment. You're so entrenched with what you're doing that food is not really that big of a deal at all. So for most of my childhood, especially when I was young, I don't remember food being an issue. The only time that I remember it, like I have memories of food coming up, would be if I went to a party of, say, like I remember one time I went to my neighbor's party and he, ate the standard American diet, and everybody there ate the standard American diet, and there was like cake. But I remember too that it was at like a pool, and I remember playing in the pool and playing with everybody the entire time and not thinking about food at all. But then when there was the birthday celebration, I remember my mom brought me my own type of food, which I really enjoyed too. But then there's always a little part where you're like, oh, why is everybody else eating this way and I'm not eating this way? So I think it's almost impossible to avoid that as a mother, unless you're living in a community and completely surrounded by like-minded people that share the same values as you and raise their kids the same way as you, which is possible, but it's not realistic for the large majority of the people. So yeah, during those times I felt a little bit like, oh, why are these people like that? Why can't I have that? But I would say for the majority of my childhood, it was an afterthought. However, once you become a teenager, and I guess you could say your mind develops a little bit more and you do start thinking more about the future and you have more freedom and you're able to take more choices on your own, then it does change a little bit. Then when I became a teenager, when I got older, I became a little bit more curious, especially when I would go out. So my mom would always have a vegan home and mostly raw food home. But when I did go out, because I was able to make choices, I did experiment and tried candies and ice creams and pizzas and those types of things. And I think and this is where it's kind of tricky, and I completely relate to what you're saying. On one hand, you want to really guide your child, and you don't want them to be eating toxic things and putting that in their body. But at the same time, you don't want them to develop any sort of eating disorder or anything like that. You don't want to go on the other extreme too. For me, I never developed an eating disorder or anything like that, but I definitely felt limited to a degree. And I think that's one of the reasons why I did explore and want to eat all these other different foods when I did go out. But at the same time, I am so, so grateful for the foundation that you gave to me. And like, compared to the large, almost to all of my friends and all the people that I grew up with, I was able to have such a healthier upbringing due to the foods that I put in my body. And I think that showed a lot too. Like, I was very active in sports, and I remember people were just like, man, this guy like doesn't stop running. Like, everybody else would come in and they need their rest, and I would just like go like crazy. And I realized even when I was in college, and this is actually when I was eating the worst of my entire life, I still realized that I had conditioning and I had more stamina compared to a lot of my peers. And I think the large majority of that reason is because of the way that I grew up and because of basically the nutrition that I had. And that I didn't eat all this toxic food. I didn't, put all these things inside of me that just stick and rot in you like a lot of animal products do. So I think for those of you who are thinking about having children in the future and raising them in a way that's conscious, but also not trying to put too many restrictions on them, it's definitely a balance. I think it's a very individual decision. But I think, as you did, having a standard of what is allowed in the house, but then also being accepting of them if they do want to explore a little bit, and try not to put any judgment or shame on them. But always remember to set the example yourself in your household, and also try to instill within them the vitality of eating well, and also, as far as veganism, the ethics that are surrounding that, how it impacts your animal friends, how it impacts the environment, and all the other ramifications there are from eating animal foods.
There are also some wonderful, wonderful children's books on, and I had the earlier books for you and your sister, but there are books that have come out more recently that are wonderful, that parents can read to their kids to help them understand why we're vegan, why that strong ethical connection, why we don't eat any animal foods or products, and also why we want to eat all this huge abundance of raw food, and it's just the food that gives us the most energy. Like Marco said, he had so much energy. I still remember and he still does, but I still remember as a kid growing up that your baseball coaches came over to me and they said, what does this kid eat? Even some of your soccer coaches, like, he just doesn't stop. Like, in the baseball game, they used to keep you in for all innings and the other kids would sit out. Keep you in the game.
Yep.
So, you did just have this amazing energy. And when you were younger and you had the asthma, I was concerned because they told me, doctors who I went to told me you weren't going to be able to play sports because you were wheezing all day long. And earlier on, I didn't know what to do, and I did give you some antibiotics. That didn't work at all. And the only thing that worked was changing the diet and the lifestyle. And I see it over and over and over again, that how diet and lifestyle works for so many health challenges. We want to live healthy lives. The only thing we can do is take care of our own health, what we put in our bodies. So you're a really great example of that. Marco went on to make us really proud and got a degree in holistic nutrition and human performance, and he coaches online. So anybody who's interested in getting some excellent online coaching can check Marco out. Marco, the earlier years when you were young and when I was your mom and I was the center of your universe, I was the one who gave you your food. You were eating all raw at age 3.
Yep.
And then you had healed. So you were eating fruits and greens, vegetables. some nuts and seeds, and you were doing great. It was later on, really, you know, that you like perceived that need to fit in with your peers. And
yeah,
especially when you were a teenager, and then in college, I think it got really intense.
yep.
And I often, like in those later years, would say, I don't want to know what you're eating outside of the house, because I didn't want to get upset. So it was just easier for me that way. Yeah, what are some of the fruits and vegetables that you have at your retreat that you love? I know that when we came down that you were giving me some delicious chocolate sapote, those black sapotes, and you have a black sapote tree right there by your house. Do you still have those there?
Yeah, of course. I pruned it when we originally got here, and it has like tons of new growth now. And we just picked one black sapote that was huge. It's almost like the size of your face. So the tree is responding really, really well. And yeah, we're eating all of our greens from our greenhouse right now, and all the guests that will come here in the future will get all the greens from our greenhouse. Just the other day, Maria made an amazing walnut pesto with all the basil from our greenhouse, and it was like the best pesto I've ever had. And yeah, all different types of greens, kales, lettuce. We have radishes. We got a bunch of tomatoes coming in. So many different cucumbers and squashes, and I could go on for a long time, so I don't want to rattle off all the different types. And as far as fruit trees go, we do have some established fruit trees here. And then we also planted about 50 or so fruit trees back in August, which was the best time to plant. Most of those will take a couple of years before they develop. Besides the bananas we planted in May, and they take about a year or so. So in the springtime, we should be getting bananas, all different types of bananas and plantains. And for retreat guests that do come here, the items that we don't have, we source all of it locally and organically. We've been here long enough, and Maria speaks Spanish because she's from Mexico. So we're really able to establish a relationship with the organic farmers in the area and really know where to get the best quality and best tasting produce, especially during the upcoming months, which is the winter months in the States, like January through May, which is when we have the majority of our guests. That's kind of when the fruit is really coming into season. And yeah, there's just a variety of so many amazing fruits here in Costa Rica. Just like the papayas and the pineapple are always amazing. The bananas, a lot of times you have specialty things, like you said, different types of sapotes. You have, sometimes there's durian, sometimes, as you know, mame sapote. There's rambutan and all different types of fruit. So it's truly a tropical paradise, especially during that time of year.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, all the delicious fruit. And Yvonne is saying that she's very jealous and she'd love to come to your retreat. She lived near Dominical for 2 years. Wow.
Oh,
Dominical, what, like 20 minutes away?
Yeah, 20 minutes, half an hour from here. I would show you, but actually it's very cloudy at the beach right now. Maybe I'll show you in the end. Maybe the clouds will go away a bit.
Well, any of you who want to go to Costa Rica, this is like the ideal. Marco customizes small retreats, and he's right in a beautiful place up in the mountains with a gorgeous view of the whole Pacific coast. Has his own lush gardens, is growing fruit trees, and gets the best fruit in the community, local fruit in the community. And you go to amazing waterfalls, beaches, and they love to do meditation and yoga. And so it's like a perfect retreat environment, along with a fantastic chef, because Maria is very proficient in the kitchen. And so you get some really incredible food. Yeah, so contact if you're interested in going to Costa Rica. So those are some delicious fruits. I love the Rollinia.
Oh yeah.
Tastes like lemon meringue pie.
Oh yeah, that's there's certain fruits that you are able to get in the States like, exotic fruits, I should say, like durian and maybe some mangosteen or mame sapote here and there. But there's certain fruits that just don't travel well, and Rollinia or Bidiba is one of those fruits. It tastes so amazing, but the best way to have it is when you pick it off the tree. Even the people that sell it at the farmers markets get upset because most of the people don't know how to care for it just on the ride home, and it goes bad. So you have to really take really special care of this type of fruit to enjoy it. And when you do, it's just like, as you said, lemon meringue pie.
It's really nice. I remember that you planted some.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch, and we have a bunch of trees that are thriving right now. One of the fastest fruits that produce, so they will actually produce in about 2 or 3 years.
Oh, that's great.
Fast for fruit, maybe not in human time, but for fruit, that's very fast.
Yeah. No, that's great. Ooh, Rollinia. I know down there it's not called Rollinia. What's it called? Bariba fruit or something like that? Bariba.
Yep. So we hope in a couple years that our retreat guests could just go straight up to the tree and pick one off and have one.
Wonderful. That's awesome. What are you doing in terms of your daily, like, what does your daily life look like there at the retreat? What do you do? Do you do a lot of work there on the land?
Yeah, it really depends on the day. It depends if we have guests here or not as well. But a normal day without any guests is a lot of work on the land. Especially during the rainy season, we like to get out in the morning time and get out because during the rainy season, a lot of times it gets cloudy or it rains at about noon. So we get out and either work on the garden or work with the fruit trees or do maintenance here and there. And then we also spend a lot of time working on, both of us do coaching with clients as well. So we usually save that for a little bit later in the evening. And yeah, that makes up the majority of our day. We like to get out to certain events here and there because there is a really nice community of conscious people around here. But at the same time, we're really focused on our current projects here. So that's how we spend the majority of our day. We have some local projects that we're involved with as far as trying to create food sovereignty in this area and working with creating an organization where we work with people that are also trying to strive towards the same thing, basically not being reliant on food stores or really any sort of outsourcing food, and creating a place in our area where there's just an abundance of food. So we're working with people that have large portions of land that don't use it all, and they'd be open to us coming and planting fruit trees and starting greenhouse and just creating food seed banks and different types of nurseries across the area. And we're very excited about that project as well, to just help this whole community thrive together, because we're all in different types of communities. This is one of the main projects that we're a part of to foster and manifest what we're looking for within our community.
That's so nice. I wasn't so aware of that. Back in 1994, when I transitioned myself and my 2 children to raw vegan, at the time when Marco started to heal from asthma and chronic ear infections. And that's why I did it. I also had pretty severe cystic acne for many, many years, like almost 3 decades. And going vegan and getting rid of dairy, because dairy is like the most mucus forming food on the planet. I got rid of dairy, and 3 months later, the cystic acne was healed. But not all skin disorders heal that quickly. I think my body was ready. And going to raw vegan in 1994 helped to heal the rest of the cystic acne. There was a little bit left, and scars. I had a lot of scars from all the years that I had cystic acne.
Oh, we got a special guest with us.
Oh, hi, Maria.
Hi. Hola, Karen. How are you?
Good.
Definitely, you did an amazing job as a mother, like trying to find a solution that is natural and just basically the diet that everybody should be like following. You just kind of like come back to the natural way of lifestyle that everybody should be. And it's impressive. I always have been very impressed by the work that you did with them and just raising them. That was like part of the big first impression that I got when I met you, all of you guys. I was like, wow, how they were raised, like all raw and vegan. I was just like, wow, in shock, in a different path, because I know I have a lot of friends that they were raised vegan, but because of spirituality, but just knowing that this was like not part of the same spirituality journey, but it was like also a big change. I was like, wow, how people is like doing this kind of stuff for a while, and just looking these people like Marco, a young guy that all his life has like had this type of lifestyle. To me was like, wow, super nice, and like very, very good hopes for this world, that there are a lot of kids that are being raised like raw and healthy.
We had many families at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and it's so wonderful to see kids being raised this way. They're just free. They're just free.
Yeah.
So much energy. They're not sick.
I also want to say too, because I know sometimes people could be a little intimidated by completely going raw food all at once and incorporating more raw foods in your lifestyle. If you're somebody that doesn't ever eat raw food, or you're not, the term raw vegan is just coming into your world, this is an amazing way to just start making one recipe a day, or having one raw food meal a day, and then take it from there. So just that can make a profound impact on your life. The amount of energy you have, like you said, healing different types of illnesses, just including more raw food in your diet has almost an immediate positive effect. And that snowballs through all different areas of your life. And yeah, I think that's a super important thing to keep in mind for those people that are interested in possibly living this way, but also feeling a little bit intimidated. Is, some people are able to just drop it all and clear out their pantry and go raw vegan overnight. And that's amazing if you have that personality and that determination. That's something that you can do. But for other people, it needs to be more of a slow transition. And a lot of times that's actually better for the body, especially if you're coming from a standard American diet, to have your body acclimate and detox a lot of the substances that are in your body through raw foods.
Yes, definitely. And just adding fruit every day, going out there and looking at fruit and leafy greens and sprouts. There's some books on sprouts. God, when Marco was living at home, he was like my sunflower green king. I mean, he just had tray after tray of sunflower greens. Now I got to get going with it. My other sprouts are nice, but they're not as tasty as the sunflower greens. I love the sunflower greens. Yeah.
One other thing too that I want to say too. I know I sent you an article recently for those people that have kids, or even just their significant others or family members, about making green smoothies and how powerful green smoothies are, because kids don't even like know the difference a lot of the times between green smoothies and like some fruit juice pack. So you're able to, get them lots of fruits and lots of leafy greens all in a smoothie, whether it's you're sharing it with your friends or family or your kids. Like, I think that's an amazing way to start just incorporating raw foods in your day. Some people aren't even aware of what is raw food, and they're probably eating some raw food meals already. And a green smoothie is like one of the best ways that you can do that.
That is a great suggestion. That's a really great suggestion. Because that's the way also a lot of kids don't like salads until they're older.
Right.
There was a time when Marco, when he was little, like 2 years old, that he would only eat bananas.
I did 30 bananas a day before it became famous.
And we used to call him Monkey because he used to only eat bananas. And I was like concerned. I mean, he was still nursing. So he would nurse, and then he would like just eat bananas. He didn't want anything else.
Oh,
But kids eventually do want to have more variety. And I do tell parents I get a lot of parents who are concerned about their kids not eating any greens, because kids don't generally like salad stuff. They don't like that kind of texture, but they will have a green smoothie.
I have seen and I have tried to, when they're very little, you can give them to try greens like celery, just to chew it, and they love it.
Yeah.
It's just like when they start to trying salt or sugar or any processed food, they are gonna reject the natural one because they already contaminate with that. So the trick in here is just to, incorporate always natural produce, just fresh produce, and not give the the processed food, because as soon as they try that, they are gonna reject the greens and all the good things. It's tricky that they are new, their tastes are new, so they obviously are gonna prefer something that is gonna trick the mind, because they don't understand that. They don't know how the mind works.
Yes, that is so true. That reminds me that, like, when Marco and Gabriella were growing up, there was sometimes a birthday party every weekend, every single weekend. It wasn't like once every month. It was sometimes every weekend, because they knew a lot of kids. And I brought my own food, because once you get started with all those addictions, it doesn't stop,
Exactly.
It doesn't stop. So once you start, it becomes like all the time. And, you just have to, but I'll tell you something, that there were times when I would do something like I would take a large pineapple and carve out the inside and put in all this different fruit, and have like a pineapple, big pineapple party ball, and bring something like that. Or, I would make my own pies and cakes and cookies. I even took a vegan ice cream container, took out the vegan ice cream, and made an ice cream with banana, mango, a couple of dates, and carob powder in the food processor. It looked just like chocolate ice cream. Brought it to the party. The kids didn't even know that it wasn't even the junky ice cream.
That was very smart, Karen.
So there's so many things parents can do. But when I brought that pineapple boat, the kids at the party came over and wanted the pineapple boat, because they're always junk every weekend, every single weekend. And the thing is if I had let down, and even once or twice had my kids eating that stuff early on, it would have just become a routine. They did that, and that's why I didn't. When they were older, they would anyway. And sometimes if they went over to somebody's house, like Marco would go across the street and probably have Coca-Cola and potato chips and come home eating mango.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
But he had that base of knowledge because he knew what his mom's values were.
Of course, it's kind of difficult for kids to truly follow the right path, because they are very influenced by anything that is around. And definitely they keep the value that is like also in these days, and that's what is like changing their lives, because they have this base from you. So that's amazing, and that's such a big job that any parent can do if they have a strong foundation of what is truly nurturing and real food. And whatever the kids choose after they are 20 or whatever the age that they took, the choice to eat whatever they want, they will always remember the good base about what is real food, what is nurturing, and they will choose, but the seed is going to be there, and the seed is going to sprout. So it will depends of them, but the big work, it's from the parents from the beginning, always.
I think the other thing too, because we're talking so much about how much the environment matters, right? And when you're a kid, you're very, very, very influenced by the environment. But for for those people that aren't having kids or wherever they are in their life, like if you start eating raw foods now, like even that could greatly impact the people around you. Like I know wherever I've gone, like it's different, right? You're weird a lot of the times when you're the one that's having a smoothie and everybody else is eating, you know,
Coca-Cola
or
just
whatever. Yeah, standard
soda.
pizza and stuff like that. But there's always people that are interested. I've realized that there's always people that are interested, whether that's vegan or raw vegan. When you do something that's different, you usually catch the eye of at least a couple people, and they become interested as well. And we can't underestimate the impact of that as it grows. So we're both big believers in this, especially now in the world where there's a little bit more chaos, as we could say, or there's more uncertainty, whatever, you know, coined phrase has been thrown out right now, is that the best way to change the world is to change yourself first. And changing the way that you eat and changing the values that you have, especially the food that you put in the body, how you fuel yourself, is so essential. So what you choose to put into your body and how you choose to express yourself to the world, if each of us just took care of ourselves, then the world would be a completely different place. We need to take care of, in permaculture, which we both love, we talk about zone 0, and zone 0 is yourself. Zone 1 is your house, zone 2 is further from your house and keeps going outside. But zone 0 is yourself, and putting raw, vibrant, nutritious foods into your body is taking care of zone 0 to the highest degree possible, and it only will have a positive rebound effect throughout the entire universe.
Yeah, that was beautifully said. Thank you. I'm very proud of Marco and Maria and what they're doing.
Thanks, Bob.
I was very surprised when Marco just left here and went down to Costa Rica. I was, unhappy because I loved having Marco around, but I was also excited for him that he was wanting to become a permaculture farmer, and both Maria and Marco are permaculture farmers. They are certified permaculture farmers. They're growing this beautiful land, and their goal is to become self-sustainable. That was something that was really a dream for me, a dream. That's just really, really wonderful. And just living in these lush surroundings involved in nature is really, really beautiful. Look at this. Look at how gorgeous that is.
Right now it's like foggy, but over there you can see the ocean. That's the ocean view. But right now we're on the rainy season. Part-time is sunny, and then part-time gets cloudy, and then again the suns come out, and then again But it's great because rain is blessing, and rain brings the fruit,
right.
And rain brings all the fruit and the abundance that we have in this country. So much blessed for this rain, so much blessed. I just felt so much gratitude for the rain. So
yeah,
more.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I know that you even get to still go to the beach even in the rainy season, right?
Yeah.
That there are days it clears up and you'd go to the beach, or you go in the morning.
This is actually funny, but usually the beach is always sunny. There are rainy days on the beach too, but the beach is always mostly sunny. It's incredible how you just go there and then it's sunny and sunshine all the time. But they have rain. I think they just get the rain at night, which is, I don't know, maybe because the weather, the microclimate over there, I don't know. But when you go to the beach, it's always sunny and beautiful. So that's,
nice.
Yeah, we really feel really blessed to where we are, and we looked a lot of different places where we wanted to be. And one of the reasons why we chose this place too is because the weather is just perfect. Because sometimes when we go down to the beach, we could go and swim, but the humidity there is pretty intense, where we're sweating a lot sometimes. So it's nice to have the ocean, but then we're able to come back into the mountains and have it be a little bit cooler, and you could sleep with a blanket and not be sweating.
You can even wear a blanket, and it's nice. You don't need to be sweating. we don't even need a fan inside.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
We don't need AC or heat.
It's perfect. It's just perfect weather.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was like so much fun to talk with Marco, and then Marco and Maria, and everybody. Like, check out their retreat center in Costa Rica. You want a beautiful trip. It's only like, I'm in New Jersey. It's a 5.5 hour flight, and it's beautiful there. They have a beautiful view of the Pacific coast. Maria is an amazing chef, vegan and raw chef, and they will take you all over beaches and waterfalls and meditation, and you'll just really love it there. They have a beautiful bamboo house that is just stunning. Really, really pretty.
It's a piece of art. It's a piece of art, definitely, for people that know about permaculture and bamboo work. Bamboo is it's gonna be the future for like natural building. It is, but it still have a lot of like discovering, like people start discovering more. But bamboo is definitely a resource that is natural and very easy to harvest, and also very easy to grow, regenerative, and super useful to build. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it's ideal. That's, I think, a good ending for today.
Yeah.
And
thank you so much.
So much, Marco and Maria, for being with me.
Is El Santuario de la Salud. It's in Spanish. And you can just look at our website, and there are information there, but you also can just like text Marco through Instagram or Facebook, and then we can just like answer questions. We do calls with the people that is interested, and we answer some questions, and then we get in more details. Depends of the diet that they want to follow. Everything is plant-based, but we can do raw and cook, or just completely vegan. So there are different options. Depends of each one. Depends of the transition, the time, how are they. Some people are not even vegan and they want to transition, so this is a good place to start and get a lot of knowledge of it with some recipes, demos, and they can get into this vegan style, this like plant-based, this healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage you to check out our website, because you could also kind of check out like a sample day, a sample menu, a sample day, and yeah, you could see like basically how we bring our guests to different areas in the different places in the area, whether it's waterfalls or beaches or the farmers market, or you could check out a cacao farm. There's a beautiful hikings in the area too. So one of the reasons why we really like having small retreats is we're able to customize it for people that are coming here. So like we could customize your diet, we could customize the plan that you're looking for. And then one of the things that I think separates us from a lot of other retreat centers is that we follow up with you 1 month and 2 months after your stay, just to see if you're to make sure that you've been able to implement the lifestyle changes that you've learned here into your life. So we have those 2 integration calls that are included in the retreat cost, and we feel like that's really helpful, because a lot of people come on retreat and then they go back home and they end up doing the same thing. So that's a way for us to support you in really transitioning what you've learned here and the lifestyle that we live and that we teach and that we've learned about, and you're able to implement it into your own life and really reap the benefits of coming here and staying with us.
Thank you, Marco. That's awesome. Great speaking with you and Maria for this hour. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Yes, see you soon. Thank you. And
take care.
Have an amazing day, everyone.
Everybody, check out Marco and Maria. And thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Blessings.